Welcome everybody. Before I start, I suppose I ought to do the housekeeping things. We're not expecting a fire, so if the fire alarm does go off in the very, very unlikely event, the fire exit is just over there, so care staff will be there first, so just follow anyone else. And if you don't already know, the toilets are just around the corner, so feel free to go at any time. So I really want to just thank you for the bottom of my heart for you all being here to celebrate, I can't quite believe, 15 years of Lendwithcare. I've been at Care for a very long time, too many years to mention, otherwise I'll give away my age, but Care is 80 years old this year. So Care started giving care packages to war-torn Europe, and then we started Lendwithcare 15 years ago. I wanted to just get the Lendwithcare team to just quickly stand up so that you can talk to them at the end. They're dotted around. A lot of the team have been with me for almost, well, Nancy's been here, I want to give a special thanks to Nancy, for almost the whole time that we've been running Lendwithcare. But obviously I'd also like to thank the 18 partners around the world who actually do the lending. And without them, none of this would happen. We're very lucky to have 3 of those, or 2 partners, but 3 staff with us tonight who you're going to hear from. We've got Vashti from, well, not from Togo, but she runs a project in Togo, so she runs an organisation called Deki, and they work in Togo, and you're going to hear from Vashti next. And then we have Shahzad, Akram, and Ishaq from Akhuwat in Pakistan, will then talk about their very special model and show you a little bit of a film. So I just wanted to move on to the next slide. So just talk a bit about why we started Lendwithcare. So as I say, we're part of Care International, and we believe that access to fair and affordable financial services are crucial to tackling poverty and achieving economic justice. But we knew that we couldn't do this alone, so obviously Care for 80 years has been working all around the world and has had lots of kind of microfinance projects. We wanted something that would be really sustainable and bring our supporters much closer to our work. So we knew we couldn't do it alone. So only with a committed community of people, like all of you sitting here, and the partners that are alongside us, that we could reach the kind of scale and sustainability that we needed. Now, 15 years later, over 91,000 people have made a loan, and about 55,000 are active. So this is the impact we've had over the last 15 years from this wonderful community that we've built up. So this is your impact, really, not mine or not Care's. So £56 million has been lent, which is an incredible amount. Doesn't seem long ago we were celebrating reaching 50 million, and now we're on 56 million. And that's supported over 200,000 small businesses. And if you kind of count the family members that have also benefited from these businesses, that's 652,000 people, so that's incredible. And 80% of the loans have gone to women. And Care knows that women are generally the most marginalised and the least able to access credit. So then I want to talk about our vision kind of for the next 5 years. Don't want to think too far ahead. But this is a real stretch target, but we'd really like to facilitate an additional 40 million in loan capital over the next 5 years, which would go to about 115,000 micro-entrepreneurs. And the focus would be on building particularly women's financial resilience. That can only happen, obviously with the support of all you, and I hope you'll all continue lending long in the future, but also finding new lenders and partnering maybe with companies who can engage their staff or their customers and try and get them involved in Lendwithcare and companies lending themselves. Because as you know, the beauty of Lendwithcare is you put the money in once and then it can get recycled, and hopefully that money could be recycled to help us grow further. I wouldn't be doing my job properly if I didn't slip in a fundraising ask right at the beginning. I'm sure there'll be others at the end. So you'll have noticed there was a card that had a pledge form in it on your chair. So we'd be enormously grateful if you'd consider either pledging a donation, and we'd be happy. There's a QR code, or we can call you back at your leisure. The other way, which people often find difficult, but I'm not quite sure why, probably because my own father keeps seeming to be talking about funeral plans and things. But one of the best ways that you can help any charity, but particularly care, is to leave a legacy. So there's a little tick box. So if you are interested in speaking to anyone about leaving a legacy, we have Marie at the back, who's our legacy expert, or you can just tick the box again on the form, and then we'll either call you if you leave a number, or pop a leaflet into the post if you haven't got one to take. I'm just going to move on to the next slide, Tony. So the eagle-eyed among you might have noticed that the Lendwithcare logo has had a bit of an update. It's going to take a while for this to filter across the website, etc., because as you know, we're a small team. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about why we've launched this new Lendwithcare logo. As we said, 15 years ago, when Lendwithcare was formed, the current Lendwithcare logo, and I'm almost already beginning to forget what it looked like, was based around the Care brand colours. And the Care brand over the years has been modernised, whereas the Lendwithcare one had stayed the same. So we felt it kind of just fallen behind a bit, but also we wanted to make sure it was clearer that Lendwithcare is part of this wider Care International, without which we couldn't have ever probably have even kind of sustained Lendwithcare as a model without the backing of the wider charity. But just wanted to make that sort of the relationship between the two much clearer, because Care has a very long history in helping people out of poverty, and it was actually founded at the end of the Second World War by people giving care packages to war-torn Europe. And I kind of feel Lendwithcare is a bit of a modern day care package, so connecting people around the world, one person giving to another person whose name they know. So talking of Care, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to Care's CEO, Helen McKern, and I call her Helen M, so I can never remember how to pronounce it, but Helen's going to close tonight. And some of you might have met my boss, Ben Nolan, who's the Director of Marketing at Care. I don't know where Ben is. Oh, Ben's right at the back. So I've talked for far longer than I probably should have done, because we promised you this would be an opportunity to hear from our partners who we've got today. So I'm now going to hand over to Vashti from Deki, who's going to talk to you a bit about what's special about her wonderful charity.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tracey, for the introduction, and for inviting me to come along here today. I've not been up to Lendwithcare's office before. We've been partners for a few years, and it's the first time I've got to meet some of the team, which is really, really nice. I just wanted to kind of share a story of how we started and how we've got to where we are today. So I'm just going to tell you the story of how we founded and things that we've learned as we went through. I'm just going to I'm just going to look over at Tony when I need the next slide. So it all began about 18 years ago, and these are the two people that kind of inspired me to make it happen. So on the right hand side is my dad, Johnny, and on the left hand side is Deki, who was a Tibetan refugee that my father had sponsored since she was a kid. And it was, I went to, so when my dad passed away, and he left a little bit of money for me in his will to do something good with, and I didn't really know what that meant, but I kind of was on a bit of a journey to find out what I could do with that money, and I wanted to go and meet Deki because I knew that he had a really close relationship with my dad, so I went to India to meet her. And she was really trapped in a cycle of poverty, and I didn't really know what to do to help her, so I started to ask some questions. And what I really started to think about is what could I do to help Deki, but what was more important for me at the time is what can Deki do to help herself. And I think that's what Lendwithcare is all about, really. It's not about kind of us helping someone else, but empowering them with the opportunities that they need to be able to help themselves. So Deki set up with our vision, which is for a world of opportunity, not poverty. And we started off with very small microloans, doing things just like this, lending people money, maybe kind of 30 or 50 pounds to buy a sewing machine or something, and really giving them the opportunity to work their own way out of poverty. But as we grew, we started to work more with communities, and we realised that actually that when people work together, it kind of takes a village to work their way out of poverty and not just one person. So we started working more and more to communities, and the question changed then, and it changed from what can one person do to help themselves, but what can communities do to help themselves, and what support do they need? What opportunities can we provide for communities to be able to work their way out of poverty? And I get. When it was I guess what happened with when we found out about microfinance is that we realised that I don't know, I've lost my thing. So when Deki started, we started working across about 6 countries in Africa, and we just worked in microfinance. But as we moved on, we realised that the people needed a lot more than just microfinance, especially when in the rural villages that we worked in. We started doing some needs assessments, so we started trying to really work out what it was that people needed to be able to work out their way out of poverty. And what we realised when we went out and we worked with communities, asking them lots of questions about what poverty meant for them and what they would like to do to be able to move out of poverty. And we realised that there was lots of things that they lacked. We've talked about the fact that they lacked opportunity, but that means that they lacked financial inclusion. So people were not able to get loans, or if they were able to get loans, they were at a very high interest rate. And they lacked infrastructure, so people don't have routes to market to sell their products, or they have lack of basic services. So lots of people don't have water. When we did our needs assessments, we realised that about 80% of the communities we worked in didn't have access to safe water, and were having to travel really far distances to do that. And the soil was degraded, and there was lots of deforestation, and there was certainly a lot of gender inequalities. So what we realised at that point is that we really needed to help people on a wider scale look at the different types of work, types of opportunities that we could provide for them. So the 2 big things that we learned was that actually to be able to move out of poverty, you really do need your basic needs met. So that means things like clean water. And the other thing that came more apparent to us is that climate change is also a huge barrier to poverty, especially these days where we work with rural farmers. Lots of them are seeing massive differences in like the rain. There's either a lot of rain or there's not enough rain, and things that used to be much more cyclical now kind of don't work in the same way. So we realised that we needed to help people both with central services and with kind of building resilience to poverty. So now Deki takes a much more holistic approach to poverty. So we work with Lendwithcare on microloans, which is the basis of everything we do, and we will do that both within farming cooperatives and in women empowerment collectives. But alongside that, to really kind of boost up communities, we do other things too. So one of the things we do, if you look on the left-hand side, there's a woman there with a borehole. And what's happened all across the developing world is that people went in and dug boreholes, but they didn't tell communities how to keep them up or give them any funding to do so. And what that means is there's just loads of boreholes that are not used, and then we saw communities going to really dirty rivers and collecting water and using that to. Well, I watched people, feed their children brown water out the river when I can see a borehole literally just meters away. So one of the things that we do now is we also rehabilitate boreholes, which actually only costs a couple of £1,000, but can actually mean that a community has access to safe water. The other thing we do in terms of our essential services is you can see there's a cook stove, and we have built a artisan cook stove workshop where we actually make those cook stoves ourselves out of locally made clay and recycled metal, and they use about half the wood that a traditional fire would use. And a traditional fire tends to be 3 stones placed together, and they put the pot on top and balance it on top of these 3 stones, and they light the fire underneath, and it's really inefficient. And that means for a woman that they can be spending hours and hours a day just going to collect wood. But also in terms of the environment, it's a lot of wood is then burnt, and that creates carbon in the atmosphere, and also it creates deforestation. So one of the things that we do is provide these cook stoves, which helps women a lot with their time and also the forest, but also with their health, because as children, especially young women, a lot of smoke gets into their lungs and it causes lots of different problems for them. So that's kind of what we do in terms of the essential services. But we also, if you look to the right, is someone in their field, and we do a lot of work around moving away from chemical fertilisers to organic fertilisers, because what we've realised, as I said before, that the soil is really degraded because they've just used so much chemical fertiliser, there's nothing left in the soil. And this is one of the big things that Lendwithcare helped us with a grant, was to support our farmer field schools. And we teach farmers to use something called biochar, which I'm not sure if many people have heard of. It's a type of charcoal that we make, and you put it with compost, and it sucks in all of the goodness out of the compost, and you put it on your land, and it really regenerates the soil. So we provide them with a loan so that they can have a microloan so they can buy the inputs that they need, and then we teach them on how they can actually improve their farming and their yields, and move away from the chemical fertilisers. So yeah, that's a huge part of what we do these days. And I guess a good way of showing you how that works in reality is just to give you a little bit of a case study. So this is a Kapidi community, and they've been absolutely amazing. Because as I said initially, we were just all around loans, and as we work in about 450 communities now, and we're trying to bring this holistic approach to each of our communities. And some communities really take it on and run with it. When we give them the opportunity, they really take that in, and this is one of those communities. So they started off with, they were really interested in our cook stoves, so we provided them with cook stoves, and they were really happy about it because of the time they were saving and the health benefits. But then they said to us, oh, we haven't got any safe water. And again, we could see that they had a borehole here, but they weren't able to access it, and they were having to walk and collect water from a river in another community, so it was taking them a lot of time and it wasn't very safe. So then we were like, okay, that's great, we can help you rehabilitate your borehole. So now they had those essential services, which we think are key. And then they said to us, well, what else can you offer? And we said, oh, we can really help with your cooperative. They had an informal cooperative already, and they'd been provided with a loan from another organisation that was at a really, really high interest rate, and didn't provide them with any training. And they said they found it really difficult to repay the loan because they essentially it hadn't been a fair loan. And we said, well, look, what we will do is we will not give you a loan straight away, but we will help you with your cooperative. We help them formalise a cooperative so that they could be registered with the government. And then we provide them with 3 months worth of training. So we provide them with training around their farm, we try around finance, savings, routes to market, what they were going to grow, and all of that type of stuff. And then after the 3 months, we actually provided them with one of the Lendwithcare loans, and they were able to use that money to put, I think they used it to get some labour to be able to help them with their land and really increase the amount of farming that they could do. So they're a really good example, and what they've said now is that they wish for other things, of course, so we can get them so far, but what we find is once we've got a community so far and they've got some of those essential services met and they've got a loan, they start to have more and more ideas of their own. What they really want now is some latrines, because most of the communities we work with don't have any latrines, and they want solar lighting within their community. But that's really got that energy going, and we're going to try and help them with that, but it's really great to see people take on that opportunity. And obviously we couldn't do this on our own. We're actually just a tiny team in Bristol. There's 3 of us who we all work part-time, but we work with an organisation called Yardes, who are based in Togo, who are absolutely amazing. And that's Christian, who's my counterpart there. And we've been working with them for about 10 years now. And Christian is just an absolutely fantastic leader and is always driving forward the projects. And really, the impact is theirs. We just help with the strategy and with the fundraising, but they know their communities inside out and they know how to drive forward the projects. And also the big partner was also with Lendwithcare, who have been absolutely amazing. When we first started working with Lendwithcare, we thought it would just be, oh, well, we'll get some more loan capital and that'll be fantastic, it will help us grow our loan book. But what we found is the partnership has been a lot more than that. I'm looking at these guys because you're over there. But so Lendwithcare have helped us kind of like grow as an organisation. They've looked at lots of things around our policies and the way we work, and they came over actually and did a whole session on us, and they left with giving us an action plan that we could work towards that would really help improve the work that we're doing, and we worked through that, which was incredible and a lot more than money. So that's been really fantastic. And as I said before, Lendwithcare have also helped us with our farmer field school, and that's helped us provide training to so many more communities. And there's a picture of us, there's the 3 of us, I think you can probably see our faces in there, and the incredible team that we have in Togo. And these guys work so hard within their communities to try and grow our projects, and it's an absolute pleasure to be able to work with them on this journey with us. And I guess it's just been a real learning curve. So we started off just wanting to help one person, and then we wanted to help communities, and now we've helped about 300,000 people in total over the last 16 years. We're about a year, been going about a year more than Lendwithcare. So yeah, it's been an incredible journey, and I just want to really thank Lendwithcare for all of your support, and also for all of you lenders who have helped those loans happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vashti. We're very proud to be working with Yardes and Deki. It's a really, really great relationship. So I'm now going to hand over to Shahzad, Akram from Akhuwat, who have been a partner of Lendwithcare for 12 years. They've got an incredible story, and I was very lucky to go and visit them in Lahore a few years ago. If you ever get the chance to go to Lahore in Pakistan, I highly recommend it, and the food is amazing. But I'm going to hand over to Shahzad to talk about more serious things than the food in Lahore. So over to you, Shahzad.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you so much for being here. This is the first time in my life that I'm standing in front of so many English people like you. So I'm a little bit nervous. I'm trying to relax myself, right? Okay, so I'm feeling really honored and really privileged to be here and standing in front of you people, those who have a compassionate heart and equity for the others. Akhuwat is working since 2001. The name of my organization is Akhuwat, and he is the founder of my organization. His name is Dr. Muhammad Amjad Saqib. So Dr. Amjad Saqib is a very renowned philanthropist and civil servant, and a civil servant in Pakistan, right? He's a very big name in Pakistan, alhamdulillah. So there is a very small and humble beginning of Akhuwat in 2001. He was working with the governments, and he was a civil servant. So he was sent to an organization where the loans were provided to the farmers on interest-based lending. After working with that government, he realized that microfinancing is considered a tool for the poverty alleviation. But the basic thing and the basic hurdle is in it that according to our religion, Islam, the interest is forbidden. So all the microfinancing around the globe is working according to the conventional microfinancing, like getting the charges and getting interest from the poor people. So according to faith and the society, we believe that if we do the microfinancing other than the charging in interest, then it could be really fantastic. So many years have been passed, and he was thinking that how I can do all these things. So the one day, this is a very interesting story. So the one day, a lady came to him, and he said that a few months back my husband has been passed away, so I don't have money to start my business, right? I have 3 daughters to look after, and can you help me just by considering me your sister? So Dr. Amjad, with the help of his friend, just gave him $100 at that time. And when he gave that money, he thought that I will never get that money back from that lady. After 6 months, he was sitting in his office, and that lady came back to Dr. Amjad. And he said that, I'm here to repay back your money. So he was really surprised. He said, why you are giving this money back to me? And she said that when I took this money, I decided that I will pay back to you. This is just like a small loan that you are giving to me. This is not a grant. I don't believe in charity and begging, right? And Dr. Amjad said, okay, please tell me, what did you do with that money? And she said that I bought 3 sewing machines, right? And me and my daughters, we started stitching clothes of the neighborhoods. People gave me the clothes and we stitched that. And she said, after some days, we got a contract from a school to prepare a school uniform. And after completing that contract, we got another contract. And she said that I've been able, just in a period of 6 months, that I got enough money that my one daughter got married. I didn't get any money from any relatives or from any neighborhood. I didn't ask anybody. I earned a lot of money so that I've been able that my one daughter got married. And now I have a good food to eat and good clothes to wear. So now I'm not at the receiver end, rather I'm at the giver end, right? Now I have started a small center where other girls are coming and they're learning stitchings, right? So ladies and gentlemen, this is a very small and humble beginning. Our ideology, the word of this Akhuwat, is coming from our ideology of Islamic teachings, right? When our Holy Prophet migrated, and he said that how the poverty can be eradicated or reduced. So we believe, being a Muslim, that poverty can be removed through sharing, right? Whatever you have, it doesn't belong to you. Somebody has given it to you. The God has given it to you. He has a blessing on you, right? And then He has given you the compassionate heart, right? Where you don't think only for yourself, right? You are a selfless people. And now you are trying to give for whatever you have, you are trying to give to the other people. So ladies and men, this was a small and humble beginning of Akhuwat in 2001. And then we started our operations by establishing one small offices. And then the people came in that, how you are doing all these things? You are providing interest-free loans, right? So how do you meet your operational expenses? How do you get the money? So Dr. Amjad replied that, I don't know right now. But what we can do is, we have 3 and 4, 5 friends. We just hire one guy and we will bear the salaries, right? And as far as the amount is concerned, where we will get it, we'll try to knock the door of the rich people and try to convince them that, okay, look, these are the poor people and they are just like your brothers and sisters. They are lacking behind in the life. They are looking for you and you have to be answerable someday. So they will donate you. So the people started donating it. And by passing some times, alhamdulillah, we have been able to create our integrity. We were so much accountable, so much transparent. Then people realized that this is a good organization. The people started donating it. And then we opened another office in another city of Pakistan. So ladies and gentlemen, you would be surprised to know that right now, I'm standing in front of you. Akhuwat is the world's biggest, largest interest-free microfinance organization. This is amazing, and now the different countries are trying to contact the Pakistan government and Akhuwat that we want to learn this model, that how you are operating without charging any interest. The model is very simple. The model is compassion. The model is brotherhood, where I'll share something with the people. There are so many donors, there are so many people that are coming to us and they are asking us, okay, please open a branch office in my locality. I live in another city, I live in another country, but I belong to this soil. I want to do something for my country. And he said that, okay, I'll pay all operational expenses. I'll give you the money for distribution. You will distribute money, you will receive it, and again you will distribute it. So again, it will be created a revolving fund. But as far as your operational cost is concerned, we will bear it. So this is a very simple financial model that the Akhuwat is running. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have more than 872 branch offices all across the country. We have spread all over, alhamdulillah. Right now, since inception till date, we have dispersed around 790 million pounds through interest-free micro lending. Right now, 650,000 households are attached with the Akhuwat. One household can obtain loan at one point of time, right? So he will complete that loan and again he will receive it again. And 44% loans are given to the female beneficiaries and 56% are male loans are given to the male families. So ladies and gentlemen, if we talk about the poverty, so I personally believe that poverty doesn't mean only that we don't have any financial resources. It means that we don't have any friend. It is not a destiny. Poverty is not a destiny. Poverty is a challenge. And collectively, please allow me to say very humbly that collectively we can fight with this challenge. We can overcome this challenge. We just need to create a society where everybody can live happily, where people have believed that we can eradicate it by sharing our thoughts, by guiding the people. Some people are poor because they don't have any guidance. If we provide a little guidance, they can find their way for the better future. So as far as, ladies and gentlemen, success. So let me tell you about your success. So many people are sitting here. If I talk about what is success? So I tried to find this answer of this question, that what is success? Having a big car is a success. Having a good bank balance is a success. Having a very big house is a success. So if this is a success, then it is mean this is a benchmark. So there are 100,000 of people in this world, those who have achieved this benchmark. So then why they didn't stop working? Why don't they sit at the houses? Because they have achieved this. It means this is not a success. The success is, I've read in somewhere and found the answer of this question. That success is a point where you've been able to do something for the others. When you feel some happiness, when you feel inner satisfaction in the heart and the mind, that you have achieved something. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a success. And I personally believe that this is the amazing thing which I've come across. So I'll request you all that the model that Akhuwat has presented, and now the whole world is watching on this. 2023, we have been invited by the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, and many Islamic states and different countries are trying to replicate this model. So we're trying to do it. Alhamdulillah, we are so much transparent and so much accountable. And it assures you the single penny which is coming from the Lendwithcare to Akhuwat, we assure you that we will distribute to the right person, for the right cause, for the right purpose that you have intended in your mind. So as far as the Lendwithcare's journey is concerned, we started this journey in 2013. It was a very humble and professional beginning with the professional people. And after some time, we realized that our collaboration is extremely important for the people of Pakistan, for the poor people, those who are looking towards you guys, that we need small amount of financial resources. The people sitting in United Kingdom and other part of the world, they are grabbing the hand of the poor people in Pakistan. So ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of these poor people, on behalf of these respectable and dignified people, those who don't want to distort the society, those who don't want to be criminal, those who don't want to, create any inequalities. So I'm really thankful to all of you, and thankful to the Lendwithcare team, right? This is Lendwithcare. Actually, I personally believe this is a bridge between haves and have-nots. Many people, we need so many other people like you, and I personally salute all of you that you have been blessed by some divine power, that you are here to serve the people. Honestly, you are helping a mother to feed his children. You are helping a father to fulfill the dream of their children. You are helping a young entrepreneurs, those who don't accept defeat. They said that, okay, I do something, I want to do something, and they are looking for their goals in life. So you guys are behind them. So we need more people like you. So at the end, I would like to show a very small documentary regarding our collaboration with Lendwithcare. Please.
ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਲੋਕ ਇੱਥੇ ਜ਼ਿਮੀਂਦਾਰ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਸੂਤ ਤੇ ਕਰਜ਼ਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੜੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਿਲ ਨਾਲ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਫਸਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਆੜ੍ਹਤੀਏ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਉਧਾਰਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ
ਪੂਰਾ ਸਾਲ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਬਿਮਾਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਕੋਈ ਨੇ ਗਲੇ ਦਾ ਕੈਂਸਰ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਸੇ ਬੜੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਿਲ ਖੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ
Most of you know that our entire journey is deeply rooted in the timeless and sacred principles of our heart, which signifies profound brotherhood and solidarity.
ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਭਾਈ ਛੋਟਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਸੱਸ ਦੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਵਾਲੀ ਜੀ ਤੇ 4 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਫੌਤ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਕਢਾਏ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਦਾ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਅੱਲਾ ਨੇ ਥੋੜੇ ਕੁ ਬਚਾਤਾ ਅਜੇ ਤਾਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਲੈ ਨਾ ਆਸਤਾ ਆਸਤਾ ਵੀਰਿਆ ਇੱਕ ਕਮਰਾ ਸੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਕਹੀ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਦਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਹੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੁਣ ਹੋਰ ਪੈਸੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਇਹਦੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਅਗਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਖੁਸ਼ਹਾਲੀ ਹੋਰ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਨੇ
A truly special chapter in our history commenced in 2013 with our partnership with Care International UK through the remarkable Lendwithcare program. This collaboration has amplified our mission, reaching those who need us in the hours of misery and difficulties.
जब सर पर पड़ी है जिम्मेदारी अपने बच्चों का लोड उठाया इनके बाद शुरू किया सबसे पहले कटाई करते हैं शीट्स होती है फिर उसके बाद उसको जाली का प्रोसीजर होता है फिर जाली से गुजारते हैं लोन 70,000 हमें मिला है और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमारे काम में इजाफा हुआ है
Together through this partnership we have provided more than 32,000 interest-free loans and the amount which we disbursed exceeds 2.6 million pounds. An amazing fact is that the recovery percentage of all these loans given by Akhuwat and Lendwithcare is nearly 100%.
ਲਾਈਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਸੋਲਰ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਸੀ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਲਾਈਟਿੰਗ ਲੋਡ ਸ਼ੈਡਿੰਗ ਬੜੀ ਸੀ ਲਾਈਟਿੰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਸੋਲਰ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਟੂਬਲ ਲਵਾ ਕੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਟੂਬਲ ਲਵਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਅੱਡੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਤੋਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ 80,000 ਜਾਂ ਲੱਖ ਰੁਪਏ ਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੇਲ ਬਾਲਦੇ ਸਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਮੁਫਤ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੈਸਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੜੀ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਕੀਤੀ
These loans which are given without interest have transformed the lives of thousands that each loan which we give is a story of courage and entrepreneurial spirit.
शहर में सारा बाल बुआने शहर में लिया फिर तैयारी करवाने की आस्ते आस्ते और तुम देख बार बनाई जा छाप भी काम कर देगा थोड़ा
ਇਹ ਬੱਸਾਂ ਤੇ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮੋਟਰਸਾਈਕਲ ਤੇ ਰਕਸ਼ੇ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਟਰੱਕਾਂ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੁੱਧ ਕਰਦਾ ਭਾਈ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਦੀ ਬਰਕਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ
ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਆਲੀ ਅੰਮੀ ਦੇ ਬੂਹੇ ਤੇ ਮਾਈ ਕੋਲ ਹੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਸਾ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਸੁੱਤਾ ਨਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹ ਪਾਣੀ ਖੇਤ ਵੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਦਰੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ
कितने पैसे मिले ने
50,000
To every supporter of Care International, whose continuous and marvelous support makes this profound impact possible, on behalf of all the families whose lives have been touched and changed, we extend our deepest and most heartfelt thank you.
So ladies and gentlemen, but considering the constraint of the time, let's conclude it up. As far as the Lendwithcare is concerned, it is very close to our heart. We extremely value this partnership, just not because we're getting the money. They always think about the capacity building of the microfinance institution and their partners also. And they have worked day and night to talk with us, to discuss with us how the capacity of the microfinance institution can be built so that we can create a bigger impact. As well as, our relation, started with the professional collaboration, but now with the Lendwithcare team, I personally believe that our relation has beyond that. Now it has created a personal relation with them. So I would truly value all these things. And lastly, I again grateful to all of you to making this happen. And I personally believe that in the near future, inshallah, we will see a bigger impact. And we have created an impact actually with the lives of the hundreds and thousands of people in Pakistan. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.